As an electrical engineer, there's an opportunity to also be a sales engineer. There's so many different components out there, and knowing the products and services and understanding how important they are to the end user, your client, whether it's manufacturing or it's another component company that needs that part, is very important. It develops a very good, strong interpersonal skill for a Latina. It's a great opportunity to also expand from not just being an electrical engineer working with components and designing them, but also understanding the other side of it, your client side of it. Well, welcome to AskTheLatina. Latinas, when they go into engineering, there's so many opportunities. So I'm pretty excited. My guest is Sonia Cheney, and she is an OEM automotive account manager, and that it means that she's in sales with engineering background. So I'm excited to have her as our guest. Hello, Sonia. How are you?
Yes, hello. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited to talk about me and also to educate everyone in sales engineering.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and just growing up as far as from high school to college. What was that transition like, and how did you decide engineering was something that you wanted to go into?
Yeah, so my family is from Chihuahua, Mexico. Everyone's an engineer. They were working for Ford down there years ago. And my dad was born in Michigan, and he decided, let's go back to Michigan and, continue working over here. So I was born in Michigan, but I travel back and forth to Mexico every year, twice a year. I just bought a house in Chihuahua because I love it so much. I love the Mexican
Mhm.
culture and everything. So we've been rebuilding that during COVID. Um,
That's great.
yeah,
That's
that's
wonderful.
my train of thought. But
Wonderful.
yes, back to my high school. Yeah, so I did end up going to a high school here at Walled Lake, in Michigan. I went to University of Michigan Dearborn, and actually, I spent 8 years in college because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I started off with going to vet school, didn't like that. I started going to business. Then I started working in immigration law. I was working a lot with the lawyers and paralegal, and they told me that they were all engineers before. And I was like, you know what? I really like puzzles. I like problem solving. It took me a while to figure it out, but I was like, I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to, pursue engineering. So graduating high school in 2010. 8 years later, graduated from University of Michigan Dearborn with my electrical engineering degree, and I finally found my passion, which is at NXP Semiconductors, and I do sales engineering there.
Wow, that is great.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's nice to hear a Latina say that she's gone through a lot because of different fields. You weren't sure
Yes.
where you go and how you made it to engineering. It happens to a lot of people, but it's kind of neat that you had that experience working for lawyers, and they kind of all kind of pointed in that direction in a way. So, and then you realized that you like that. So, what was the course for like electrical engineering like at U of M or University of Michigan?
It's a lot of math. A lot of math. And, I'm not going to lie, I failed, a couple of those calculus classes. And I redid them at Schoolcraft College. And paid it's cheaper to do that, and then you can just transfer your degree. You could transfer that class to the university, and then there's circuits, a little bit of software. It's a little bit of everything because with electrical engineering, you don't have all those mechanical classes or straight computer science classes, but you do get a little bit of everything that goes with electrical engineering type of
Wow,
courses. Hmm.
that's really good. And it's great to know that I had the same thing. Calculus was something that I ended up having to miss because I ended up getting the chicken pox when I was in college.
Oh,
So
really? Oh, man.
yeah, it was bad timing. So I was like crushed because I thought, oh, how expensive it is for credits,
Hmm.
and so
I really worked hard, and I thought, well, I'll just redo it. What can you do? So comes a point where you have to do it. So, and that's okay. So that's wonderful that and it's a good option that you mentioned, because it
Hmm.
is a lot cheaper
It
to transfer
is. Hmm.
credits over.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and then did you go to U of M for all your credits for a whole bachelor's degree then?
Yeah, I was back and forth with U of M, Schoolcraft, and OCC.
Okay, well that's good. And so again, with the OCC, which is a community college, it's a lot less expensive to get those credits, especially the undergrad credits, because they're so expensive when you go to a university like University of Michigan. So tell us, what is it like for a typical day now? I mean, now you're in electrical engineering. Tell us about what you do and how you like it. What it is that you're passionate about.
Yeah, so today I'm kind of like the link between my customer and NXP. So I work with them through design all the way through production. So a lot of the times they'll send me questions and I can either answer them right away about how it's going to fit, this microcontroller, how it's going to fit into your application. And if I can't answer their questions directly, I have a team, that's all behind me that help me with all the like higher level technical questions, because with the sales position, it's not 100% technical and it's not 100% just talking, it's a hybrid of them both. So yeah, typical day, I just, get lots of emails. I see what's my highest priorities, what's going on, what, type of questions I have, get them all out. And then some days I spend most of my time doing like presentations, letting my customers know, hey, what's coming, or hey, check out these products that you might be interested in that might work for you. Every day is kind of a little bit different. And before COVID, it was mostly traveling, so I would go to all over the country, Texas, California. I haven't yet, but our headquarters is in the Netherlands, and I would go over there, do some workshops. I have a couple of Japanese customers. I would go to Japan, visit the headquarters, and talk to them. But now everything's kind of just, work from home, work online. But soon, hopefully soon, get to traveling again.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I mean, definitely a job where you get to travel like that. It's really a lot of great opportunities, so you get to meet different cultures, and you're learning a lot. And sounds like with the company being in the Netherlands, that's even pretty cool
I
too.
know. Yeah. I had no idea that with the sales role is all this traveling, and that's like what really got me, because when I applied for my job, it was just an internship into cybersecurity, and they were like, this world exists, you can be a sales engineering if you don't totally want to be technical, and there's a lot of traveling involved. And I was like, well, that's, I want to be an engineer, I want to make money, and I want to travel the world, and this is like the best of both worlds. So that's how they got me.
That's good. Yeah, yeah, definitely take advantage of it, and hopefully things will open up again. It's kind of crazy, I know, with the pandemic, but you had an opportunity to, try also what it's like to be working remote, and luckily, you've been able to work it out. So, OEM, that stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer, correct? So you're working as in what, like a component? I forgot, what components does this company supply, OEMs?
So, I work with, I guess I'm considered transnational. So it's everyone that's not in North America. So basically, not Ford, not GM, or not Stellantis, but I work with every other OEM, Honda, Nissan, Toyota, Mahindra. I have a ton of accounts that I, look over, and basically what I provide for them, we have at my company NXP. It's large portfolio of automotive solutions, and they include products in like ADAS, or the highly automated driving, body and comfort solution, connectivity solution, functional and automotive safety type solutions, infotainment, powertrain. We got it all.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a list. Yeah, and so these
Yes. Yes.
components are very important in these vehicles. And yeah, I'm glad you pointed
Yes.
out there's so many different, obviously, automotive companies that these components go into. So that's pretty awesome, and that is a lot of. So I know I've worked before in sales, but it's been more of getting the orders of the cars out to, from the dealers. So is it kind of like that a little bit where you need to make sure that those components are and getting to these automotive, manufacturers as soon as possible or?
Yeah, it's a little bit. I do mostly at the very, very beginning of the design phase where they're just looking to see, okay, like how can we improve the infotainment right now, with the radios and with the displays. So I start at the beginning, yeah, but I do see it go all the way through to production.
That's great. So you're seeing it from concept and getting an opportunity to make some modifications, be an engineer in that area where you're really re-engineering some things possibly, and then taking it through. What an awesome experience. And if you were to go back to high school, what would you do differently now that you've gone through this journey and you're in this role today?
Yeah, I would tell myself, don't be afraid to ask questions. When you have, I know in high school they used to have a lot of people that come and kind of describe their career or how or describe their college life and their preparation. Like I was always shy and didn't want to like get too involved and ask questions, and now I'm like, man, I wish I asked the questions so that I could ask them, how could I have saved money in college, or how can I have applied for an internship sooner, or known like what other type of you know roles are there. Definitely just don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, definitely. So, and throughout your process in you transition from high school to college, or in college, or even your career, have you had a mentor?
Oh man, so many mentors, and they've all become my friends too. Definitely in college, don't be afraid to befriend your professor and go and ask them questions, because you know they're like the best mentor for you when you're in college, and they're gonna look out for you when you're having help, when you need help on homework. Like they're gonna understand you better because you took the time and went to visit their office hours, and definitely. Yeah, I had tons of mentors, and I've befriended all of them now.
That's great. That's wonderful. And then you're part of Society of Hispanic Engineers. So, when did you start becoming part of that organization? And you want to tell them what that's about?
Yeah, yeah. So I joined Society Hispanic Professional Engineers, who, when I was going back to University of Michigan Dearborn for my electrical engineering degree, and I just wanted to, I wanted to do something that was, in a Hispanic community, that was also engineering, and that reached out to do STEM type of activities, because that's what they do. They reach out to the community, and we provide science workshops. We try to help those the high schools to get them more excited about engineering and math, because those subjects are really hard. And so we want to get them to start early instead of waiting like I did 8 years later. We want to get you involved now. But yeah, I joined them because I wanted to make friends. I was going back to school, and everyone that I had known before had already graduated, and I was like, I want to make friends too. So I joined them. They had conferences, so they paid for me to go, like, to travel and to go and to these conferences to kind of build up my skills to talk to people, or my skills and you know p- uh, resume workshops to help build my resumes. And so I loved it so much that I actually became a part of the board. So in college I was the treasurer, and then now I'm on the professional board, and it's the communications director. And so now I just try to spread the word with everyone in the community, everyone here in Detroit. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. And you're right. It's a good organization to make friends. That's for sure. Everyone's so much fun, and I don't know. You just sort of find your kind of community there too. So it's a community of friends and professionals, and so much good networking to have there as well. So and as far as like you mentioned there was a lot of math, so would it be something that you would have started in high school and really focused on a little bit more, or did you already have that in?
Um, hmm. Let me think. In high school, I tried to do I forgot what they call it, the advanced courses. It was, it was a struggle. I wish um, that I had found a mentor to help me with my math courses back then. Um, but now being a part of SHIP, they have the resources available if you're struggling. You're more than welcome to reach out to us to get you, the right tool, not tour guide, the right um, where they help you study.
Right. Resources
Yeah,
probably too,
yeah,
right? Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, and that's wonderful because you've gone through that experience, and now you know what the value is there. Especially because high school students, and you're right, at that level, you're not really sure, where to go for the resources. Even though
yeah.
there is some tutoring within the school, I'm not quite sure
Yes,
how kind
tutoring.
of.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So that's really exciting. I love your background and the fact that you went into electrical engineering and now this is really kind of turned into a direction where you're really enjoying it and the traveling, the learning. Where do you see yourself maybe in the future after like a couple well after you've kind of transitioned through this experience and you get travel down, probably never will, but
Yeah.
but what you
I
see going into something or expanding somewhere?
Yeah, I've been thinking about because within my company they're very flexible about where you want to be, and I was thinking, a lot of my customers are Japanese, and I thought about, well, what if I, go and sit in Japan for 2 years, work with my counterparts over there, learn Japanese, learn more about their culture. So that's on my mind. That's what I was thinking, but definitely continue traveling.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. Now, do you get an opportunity to also do some work with Latin America, or I'm not sure if they do anything?
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, we have a group down in Guadalajara, yeah. And so if once the COVID stuff starts to settle down, we will have technical workshops back over there as well. So yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a really good experience. That's wonderful, and you can leverage too your not only that you're from Mexico, but your heritage, your language, everything. That's cool. So if so everybody's got to kind of have either a saying or a recommendation or a quote. Is there any one that is kind of resonates with you that you'd like to share as an advice to our viewers or our listeners?
Oh man. Hmm. Honestly, the only one I think of is from like my parents. It's just don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say you know I'm trying to think, what does my dad say? He always tells me, but he always is like, no one can tell you no. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter because you're female or you're not engineer or you are an engineer. It doesn't matter. Like you can do whatever you can do, basically.
No, you're right. That's great. That's great advice. Yeah. So don't ever. Yeah. The fact is that sometimes I think some Latinos might think no, there's no way, but there is. There's an open door no matter
Yeah.
what. So that's really great advice coming from your dad. I really like that. It's
Yeah.
good. So that's really really fantastic. I've really enjoyed listening about your career and everything.
Oh.
And are there any hobbies and things that you like to do when you're not traveling or working hard?
Yeah, I love puzzles. I work on puzzles like every weekend. That's like my favorite thing to do. Besides that, I have cats. I'm obsessed with my
I see
cats.
'em.
They're always, yeah. They're always super fun. They were COVID cats, so and now I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people did get pets during that time, so that's nice.
Yes, yeah.
They're gonna
Now,
miss you when you
yeah,
start
I love them.
traveling.
Well, that's why I got two. Yeah, so.
Oh, that's good. They keep each other company. That's
Hmm.
fantastic. Well,
Exactly.
thank
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed learning so much about your adventure. Basically, what it is you're in this really great career now, and the fact that you never gave up. You went forward with what you wanted to accomplish, which is awesome. That's a lesson to our listeners. Never give up and continue. And also the fact that sometimes you need to go different directions before you find the direction that you're really passionate about. So, and you did that. So it's awesome. And giving back too. I think that that's an awesome thing too to always remember. So you're doing that through SHIP, and I think that's awesome. I think a lot of Latinas in high school will benefit from your tutoring or mentoring, or just the guidance of the organization that you have behind you. So that's really good. So thank you. I appreciate your time, and I think that we'll touch base with you again later on and see what's coming up before you start.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah.
And you can tell us
Great.
about your experience in Japan.
Yes, I
If
hope.
that, thank you for being with us, Sonia. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, this concludes our interview with Ask the Latina. I hope that you'll join us in a future one. So thank you for being with us.